She's skittish, but she's beautiful. You're beautiful. Yes, you are. You're beautiful. You're beautiful, too. You're beautiful, too, Dookie. Dookie and Annie. And that one is Donnie. And that one is Marie. Hey, Marie, you come to your name? That's nice. And nice you come to your name. You're enjoying those weeds. But that works perfect. I had it for a perch for the chickens, but they didn't like that area too much, so it actually works for pulling up hay and sunchokes and weeds. So it's not in the dirt. So I'm going to put some more pine shavings in here. Yeah. Get layered green and brown material. Yeah. Until you're ready to scoop it out and compost it. And I think goat manure can be used on the garden. But when you're composting like this, it might get hot. You have to test it. My bunny rabbit poop gets hot if it's composted like that. But if it's not composted, it just loose poop. It's straight good in the garden. I think it's like that. Can't really quite remember. They're having fun with that. I'm glad. They scratch their horns on that. They're having fun. I'll tell you one thing. Chickens love to rip apart hugelkulturs. Probably because there's lots of bugs inside them. But we put this one back together and put a cage around it. And they're letting that grow, so I'm happy about that. And then there's a squash down here of some sort. Their mint is coming back now that it's caged up. I had to put a few more sprouts that, the chickens and goats can eat in here when I'm done with it. Or whatnot. They can eat it right down on the ground, and then I'll just plant it more. Over here is another story, and we'll get to that shortly. I would tie the goats up right now and let them help me, but I'm alone and I don't want them all to get out and all help me. So I'm going to pull and bring it to them, and they can get used to their house together before I get them separated anyway. The chickens really love those, by the way. Those seeds. I'm in the salsify. I have the oyster plant one. Looks like a big dandelion. Okay, Winnie. So, sorry. I got some big okra. I think I'm going to put that one in the garden. Some of the big ones. And the smaller ones I'm going to leave in the greenhouse in a pot. But I have a whack load of tomatoes still to put out. I think most of them are paste tomato. And then I've got some peppers that are needing peas and beans. And I still got lots to put in. Sorry. Spinny. That pepper's doing well in a pot. I might keep it that way. If it looks too happy in there, I might just leave it at that. Some of it, I got corn and beans and stuff still coming up. So I got my fall garden already here. And I think this greenhouse will hold up for peas for a little while if I put a new top on it. See, there's another big okra down there. And more, these are the monster meats I gave Tom. Time to shine. I'm glad you love them. And I hope you get some big monster meats. But monster beets will really help me with the goats. So I really need to get them in the garden because that beet pulp, I believe, is something that the goats are going to like for their treat food. So, and then they have roughage for most of the food. So I'm learning friends about goats. Any advice would be much appreciated. That's toothache plant. That's nice. I see it popped up. That I still can't remember. It might be the lettuce. I don't think it has a name. Oh, that's basil. Oh, radicchio one. Yay. That one's actually yummy. So that can go in a green area. We got some kind of mint or maybe the wild tang on there. I got some of it labeled, some of it not labeled. Homestead Aquarius, Robert, I'm glad you liked your peppers. I got a couple of the seeds out of the package before I sent them to you, so I can see how well they grow too. I have the 5-color one and the purple one. I think it was Vanilla Gorilla wanted some purple pepper seeds. I don't know if they got them yet or not. Got beets and more calendula down there. Some of it looks a little dry, so I'm gonna get that going. I was feeling bad that the garden wasn't growing well. Then I seen the peas here, climbing up stuff, and all these greens. It's kind of windy. And this stuff started off really well. It's got flower buds on it, the beans. Sunflowers are perking up. Everything's starting to look happy, even the onions. That tomato. And it's gonna be awesome. The turnips. My secret seed. They are turning out nice. Hello, everyone. No root yet, but that's okay. The greens are looking good. They'll make lots of root. Okay, I will see you in a little bit. Oh, more seeds for the chickens. I have my corn and my squash to put in. I want to be careful not stepping on that. But I got hay there for the rabbits, the goats, the chickens. Am I missing anybody? The quail don't really eat it too much. The duckies eat it too, but hey, sweetheart, that's Shadow's friend. So I have a hayfield here, not a garden, but it's going to be garden. I'm going to plant there, but all that I pull out will be chicken because it's got the dirt and that on it, and they can use the grit out of the garden and the bugs, but I don't want the goats and the rabbits to be eating the dirt part, so they get the top parts, for sure. They like those flowers too. The rabbits love them. But look, I got hay, like, it's not quite seeded. It's in full flower. Some of it's seeded. But look, all the different kinds from my garden, because we planted a whack load of different kind of grass seed here a long time ago to get this yard more full of grass, but it didn't ever work because we needed more nutrition in here. And now look at it. Look at all those days. Oh, the yarrow over there. It would be a good idea to pick that. It used to grow on the lawn, but I have the rabbits and the chickens on the lawn now, so it's not growing out there. That's a perfect spot under that tree. We have like a little herb garden in there and let the yarrow grow. But hayfield. I gotta get back to it to make it a garden. I started. And everything I put in is getting bigger. It's like noon, so everything does not look very nice, but everything's dry. Because I also heard that you should give rabbits and goats dry grass, dry hay. even when you're picking it dry, or like this stuff's dry, for instance, dryish anyway. You want it to be not wet from the rain or the dew, because the worms and any kind of bug or parasite will crawl from the ground when it's wet and soggy up the grass to get dry. So when you pick it wet and you give it to your animals, you're giving them that worm, and it starts that life cycle in that animal. So to prevent that, you want to pick this stuff when it's dry out. So it's noon. It's not, well, just before noon. The sunchokes really don't fall over, even if they are drying in dry soil. But the dry soil will make the squash go limp. So, but I've got flowers and stuff in here that I'm going to move around, and oh, I gotta get cracking, man. I told the guys to go fishing so I can get some work done in the garden out here and like use my brain to try to think about what I'm doing now that we got the goats. Rabbits weren't eating all this. Like, how can they keep up with it? I don't have an army of rabbits, but I do have some. Like, this is all wheat, I believe. I have wheat and oats growing, both of them, I believe, or anyway, and that's ryegrass, I think. So all of that, I believe, is good forage, and I can cut it and dry it too. Some of it's dry and seeded already. I think that's good fiber still. If they don't eat it, they'll put it in the bedding, and they'll stomp on it, and you put pine shavings, and they put the green, and you put pine shavings, and they put the green, and you end up getting a compost with manure mixed in, and that makes the perfect mulch when I do it with my rabbits. So I am certain that if I get it done in a right way, it'll work with the goats too. So then we'll have stations where we can tie them up. Maybe. The goats are teaching me how to be goats. But at least they're eating the roughage. I don't think I need that much hay. Hi. This door is working for the perfect holder, isn't it, buddy? So I can get her done quick. I don't have to go all the way over there. But I'm going to pack that full at night. So if they're hungry, they have something to munch on. But holding it up here, they're not going to be having it to eat it off the ground and get worms. You don't want really the rabbits and the goats and stuff like that eating off the ground. Even chickens, but I have a really hard time with my chickens. They want to scratch to eat. If you put it in a bowl, they're still scratching, and half the time they won't even eat what's in the bowl. It's still there. They didn't even know it was there. So you need to train them. Maybe put the scratch around the bowl. Hey, Donnie, you're a beautiful boy. Hi, Dookie, and Annie, and Marie. There's hay mixed in, but that's just a pallet that we had for a door here before. And we beefed it up for the moment. When he's pushing on it, it's not going anywhere. But I'm going to have a look at what we need to support that if we're going to keep Dottie. Because you're a pushover. Very friendly. You're very friendly too. Hey? Hey, Tookie, yeah. I guess the girls are about the same size, but Annie looks much smaller. I don't know why. I think it was Annie was the purebred, that brown one. Pretty sure. I have to ask the lady again. And Marie, they're all, I believe, Nigerian, but some are crossed. Oh, you gotta be nice and share. Yeah, I put some over there too, so the boys weren't fighting over the same roughage over here. So I'm gonna get back to work. The goats are teaching me how to pull weeds, eh? Let me knock that down for you. Yeah. You love that. I'm glad you love Sunchoke so much. You gonna say Howie? You gonna say Howie? Okay. He's probably gonna be watching you. You say Howie. Sound too busy. Mouth full of Sunchokes. The Emmeline's love it back here where it's nice and shady. I wanted to tell you I like the Sunchokes too. Oh, is that right, Evelyn? You saying hi? You saying hi, pretty girl? Hey? Oh, oh. I know, you're used to being called pretty girl. You love that name, don't ya? We were wishful thinking for a girl. Trying to say him now. Nope. You don't have none of it. Are you a pretty boy? Can I call you a pretty boy? Oh, maybe. As long as you don't get mad at me, I don't care. Yeah. And you said hi? They're all Evelyns anyway, this whole group. Nobody has an individual name because most of them I wouldn't tell apart. They're all red hens. So the Sunchokes, when it's muddy out, they really, really work to keep the hens out of the mud. And it's drying out quick today, so I wasn't too worried about it. They have hay and other stuff in here that's mounded up, and all the wetness kind of goes down to the sides. Sorry if I'm flipping around too quickly. But they have their little mud holes and their little dry holes, and yeah, they're gonna kick that around and make a dry spot for them to get up on. And we can put shavings in there too, pine netting. So, keeps them out of the mud. Hey. It's been a wet summer, but that's okay. It's getting the garden going. Getting the garden going, eh, Evelyn? You like the garden, eh?